Hey guys, me again. Pardon my dehumidifier's racket over here, but I just figured I would try to do, whoop, while it falls over, a little video here on my Cometa 220 that I bought from Keystone Airguns. John being the proprietor there. Um, this is one of their more entry-level models, kind of, I guess, in the vein of a, whoop, falling over again, a HW30, something like that. Stock's fairly long on it, probably about 14 and a half inches, depending on how you measure it, but it's not bad. Anyways, I bought this pre-tuned. Cost, I believe, about 230 for that, shipping included. It's a little more now because it's more recent batch of guns. He flew them in instead of shipping them, literally, on a boat. So they went up a little bit, but anyway, I think it's 20 bucks more. But yeah, this is the gun here. It's pretty basic. This is the synthetic stock model, obviously. And I'll try to go over it relatively briefly. I'm probably going to make a mess of things as per usual. But yes, it's tuned, so it's very smooth. Factory spring, and I believe custom guides. John said that he did on this. And like I say, it's pretty basic, but it's very smooth to cock. Fair amount of recoil, but it is very smooth. It's quick and all that, as you would expect out of something that's had some attention done to it. Right off the bat, I'll say I do like this gun. Would help if it would stay where I put it. But it is a little disappointing in some ways. I'll get to that. But anyway, first things first. Like I say, it's it's a modest air rifle in terms of power. I believe 177 will do close to 700 feet per second, depending on the pellet. This one here, 22. I'm struggling to get much over 5 with H&N field target trophies, 14.6 grain. They're running about 510, 515, 15.4 grain Apollo Magnums, which are, let's see, go over here real quick. There's the field target trophies. There's the Apollos, which actually shoot pretty well, even though they're a dirty pellets. They're from Argentina. They're a 15.4 grain, and they're running a little under 5. So yeah, velocity's not a strong suit here. Trajectory out of this is kind of like what I would assume you'd get with a 25 caliber Springer, at least out of most of them. Very loopy, especially if you're shooting up, like, if you got a pest bird on your peak of your garage roof, like I sometimes do. You've got to account for that. Otherwise, it's pretty good. I mean, you can knock a nice little small deodorant spray can around out to probably 20 yards or so with the open sights. Speaking of which, these are actually pretty good. They're large, bright, easy to see. They have kind of a U-notch sight picture in the back, U-notch rear sight, and then a kind of almost a squared off fiber optic in the front. I know I'm gonna have a hard time trying to show that. But yeah, the one drawback of these sights is they have they have adjustments here. You got windage and elevation, but they're not positive. They don't click. So that's they're kind of mushy. I'm not real impressed with that. And the numbers on them aren't colored like they are on some other guns. My Norica, for instance. So you don't have a lot of positivity there. But they will work once you get them dialed in. Of course, this rear sight is kind of vulnerable being up there. You can see how exposed the fiber optics are. Obviously less so the front, which is hooded. I think it is removable. Might be a steel hood, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, they're not bad. That's probably how I'm going to leave this gun. Back here we have just a typical scope, 11mm scope rail. Not the greatest thing because, as you can see, Cometa, this is one of my biggest gripes hole in the back, but even it doesn't come with anything. So you'll definitely want probably a one-piece mount, which John does sell with his guns, a Leaper's one-piece mount. If you want to put an optic on them, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the Chinese guns 20 years ago had the head scope stops, so and it's kind of ridiculous. That's one of my big gripes with Cometa. But it is what it is. Hopefully they'll change, but that's what it is for now. One of the other gripes I have is the synthetic stock. probably won't really get it very well, but we'll see here if I can do it. Darn it. Got it's a very chunky stock on this, very thick and chunky. It manages to be very solid, but also kind of cheap at the same time. It's very thick in the wrist, unnecessarily so. The butt pad is unnecessarily long. There's some sharp edges, kind of on the mole lines here. I mean, not real bad, but definitely not a quality feel. There are other guns that cost less that don't have that. You have some nice texturing here and on the fore end. It's pretty useful, especially I'm guessing if you have larger hands, so it grips better. But you can see the bluing there is not bad. I mean, nothing exceptional, but not bad. But yeah, and you can see there's just some lines and weird deformities in the stock. It just, I don't know. It's not very good. Your safety is back here, which I'm not a big fan of either. It's automatic, resetting, ambidextrous, these little tabs, push forward to fire, and then you pull this back out, which is, for me, hard to do. I don't really like it, but it does work. It's simple, it's all metal, seems to be. It does the job. Not my favorite, but it works, and it does allow you to decock the gun, which obviously you have to be careful doing. I actually got my fingers pinched one time between the plastic and the metal up here, because I was holding it too far back with oily hands trying to decock it. So I did a number on my finger. Took over a week to heal, but that's a me issue. So just something to be aware of. You can decock it, but just be careful. Bottom of the fore end here is nice and round, which is good for carrying. Good feel in the hand. Short cocking slot, which is nice. Sharp edges all in that though, like most of these. So watch out for those. But as you see here, the trouble I'm having, it doesn't, because it's round, it doesn't set on anything particularly well. So if you're trying to shoot it off a rest at all, or pose it for camera work, you get that. So not the best. But yeah, anyway, sorry for the rambling, guys, and the noise and all that. Didn't have a lot of time, but I figured I would try to get a little bit done for you. On the front, we do have this rather interesting, I call it the Cometa cone. The Brits don't like it, but I think it looks cool. Little vented end cap here, where the barrel just kind of sits down in. Oh, see if I can get a little shot of it. You can see maybe. Yeah, the barrel just kind of is in there a little way, so it is protected. And like I say, you've got this little cocking aid here, which is nice. John did tell me you want to cock it up near the front sight, because if you don't, you can twist this off whatever axis they have it set on. So you got to be careful with that. I haven't had any issues yet, but it's something to watch out for. I guess the metal muzzle brake suppressor things on the USC models don't have that issue, but he did say to watch out for it on that. So just something to note, and something I'll keep an eye on. But so far, no issues. And like I said, I've probably put close to 500 rounds through this. Probably keep it a little over oiled, which isn't helping, but no issues so far. The trigger, I believe, is adjustable, but I'm not sure. Brakes at about 2.4 pounds. It's got a bit of a creaky, kind of weird play to it. My buddy calls it stacking, and I guess it kind of is. So there's a little bit of load up you can do with the trigger before you pull it, but you can just snap it too. Doesn't seem to really affect things. It's not the best trigger, but it's not bad by any means. It gets the job done. I don't really have any complaints with it. Practical accuracy is good. I mean, this gun seems to not be overly pellet picky, but it does really like the field target trophies. I believe they're the 5.53 head diameter that I have currently. Like I say, velocity's not as impressive as I was hoping. I was hoping to get maybe closer to, up in the high 5s, low 6s out of it. And if I had to do it again, I would definitely recommend getting this gun in 177. You're just going to get a better performance envelope out of it, higher velocity, better chance of any hunting pellets actually doing what they're supposed to and all that. So, but 22, it is accurate. It's pleasant to shoot. It's a nice overall package. I would definitely be, as long as it fit them, I think a good starter rifle, especially in tune form, because it is very smooth. very pleasant. But if I had to do it again, I'd probably actually just go for a little bit more expensive, like a Model 400 or something, and get the the even nicer adjustable trigger and the more power. And they have gas rams now as well. And currently, I guess John's able to get the lifetime warranty that these guns have had in Europe, or at least in the UK, for a while. So that's a really good plus if you want to check those out. And like I say, I do recommend John. I mean, like I say, Les, do you think I'm shilling for him? I mean, I'm not. I mean, I have a lot of, a lot of mixed feelings about this gun in particular. Not so much, obviously, his work, which, between his communication and his work, he seems to do a really good job. And I care about making people happy and making sure they enjoy their air guns, which is really nice. Nice to see in an era where customer service is very lacking from certain companies, Umarex for one. Anyway, and you can see you've got an ambidextrous cheek piece here. To me, it's a fairly low comb, but my buddy thought it was high enough. I don't know. I wouldn't want to put too much of a high amount of for a scope on, but you can make your own decisions on that. But yeah, it's a good basic solid rifle, and I mean the rather cheap and cheesy and clunky clubby stock is growing on me because I knock things around out in the out in the yard, out in the woods, all that stuff. So, and I have taken a couple of pests with this already, so it's starting to earn its keep. And like I said, I certainly don't regret buying it, but yeah, don't expect a lot performance-wise from this particular model. But yeah, I just figured I would get that out there. And like I say, it's an interesting gun. It's good to see Cometa in this country again. Crossman imported them once upon a time. RWS did about 20 years ago. I had one of those. Was a good gun. So it's nice to see it. Nice to see him back. And like I say, they're definitely, I think, a good value. Especially if you get them tuned from John. He's very good to the whole process. Very communicative. So I mean, there are technically better values out there. I'll say my Hotson 95 over here that I bought out of the box is a lot more powerful and shoots tighter groups than this does. So there is that. But in terms of, refinement, I mean, this is definitely the winner. And I'm sure this will keep working, a long time. This is a gas ram, so, But anyway, like I say, the new Cometas apparently come with a lifetime warranty through John, through the importers and the company. So even if you get a gas ram, I guess you'll have that, which is really nice. I do kind of want to try a gas ram at some point, but spring's not a bad way to go. Like I say, especially with the tune. But if you're looking at this rifle, I'd recommend 177 for sure. But 22 will work depending on what you want. It just doesn't have the performance that I was really hoping for, even though I knew it was going to be relatively limited anyway. So, and like I said, there are a few issues as well. The machining on the front of the breech block is not very good. It's quite bad actually on this side. It's kind of hard to show. And up around the barrel, there's some very bad machining in there. There was actually, I think, rust that's forming. I tried to tend to that. It's hard to really show on the camera, but it's there. It's not great. So they definitely could stand to do some improvements. Especially for being a little more of an expensive budget gun. I mean, I would still recommend these over something like a Hotson or a Diana, just from the aspect of you're getting the quality checking, at least through John on these. So, but they could definitely do better, and I really hope Cometa does do better because there's definitely some improvement to be made here. Certainly room for improvement. So anyway, that's a pretty brief overview of it. Not really brief because it's me, but yeah, it's like I say, solid little gun. And I definitely recommend, if you're interested in these sort of things, you give John a call, email, text, whatever. And even if you have questions about springers or air guns like that in general, he's very knowledgeable. He knows people that are as well. He shoots field target with people that are very well versed. So if you got questions, he'll be, I'm sure, more than happy to answer them. And yeah, like I said, this is my 220. Basic little gun. I'm hoping to do a little comparison with my Norika Dragon at some point, which in a lot of ways they did better than this. It's not as refined a gun. I don't think it's maybe as high a quality, but they did a lot of little things better. It is more powerful too. So I'll have to try to do that at some point. I do want to. I don't know when I'll get the time, but I'm going to try. I just wanted to try to crank this one out for you guys today. Sorry as always for my crappy camera work and narration, but yeah, that's the Cometa 220 22 caliber from John at Keystone Airguns. Definitely worth taking a look if this is something you might be interested in. All right, guys, there's one last little flyby. Oh, one last thing. The weight, I think, is about 6 pounds, maybe a little under. Probably a little more if you get the woodstock version. So, like I say, pretty much an HW30 class rifle, Stoeger S3000 X5, that sort of thing. Very, very comparable to that. So, yeah, kind of a medium to low power, you know, entry level rifle. Definitely, like I say, I would recommend the 177 if you're going to go with one of these, but that's your choice. So, there you go. I guess that's all for now, guys. Hope you're all well and enjoying yourselves. And alrighty, I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully, take care. Bye.